Hey guys, what's going on? So first I would like to thank everybody who shared my videos yesterday or tweeted or Facebooked, whatever you did to help preserve freedom. People might not realize that that's what they really were part of, but that's what it was. This was a huge win. It's not a, banner raising situation, but this was a huge win. With the, handful of people that we had on YouTube, Periscope, Twitch, Facebook, whatever, that was putting out the truth, along with, the one or two media companies, like RT and Rupley and all that, we showed them that the truth will prevail. The truth, even with so many small voices, your voice can still count. It's hard. Holy crap, it's hard. I mean, all of us that were doing videos, we were having computer issues. Like one of my live streams got completely cut off. My whole phone was had to be rebooted, whatever. But what happened at the end? They retreated. But my main thing right now, and I mean, I'm sorry it had to come to this for anybody that is a Bernie supporter, but what Bernie did yesterday was show 100% proof that there is no difference between the Republicans and the Democrats, and they all work for the same puppet masters. Most of us have known this for a while, but some people don't. It's been this revolving door of hope and change. It was Obama, hope, change, moving forward. Then it was Trump, make America great again. And what have we gotten? 69 gun legislations. We're still in Syria. We're still in Afghanistan. We're still in Iraq. And none of our voices are being heard. We can't fault one person for this, and that's what a lot of people like to do, and that's how we get stuck in this revolving door of Republican, Democrat, president. They all work for the same people, y'all. But what we can do is fight to get state rights back, to where we don't even have to worry about what's going on in DC. And I know people are going to be skeptical about this, but it's possible. It's extremely possible, especially with some of the already declared situations that we have. We just have to work together. We have to unite. It's not helping anything to make fun of liberals this day and Trump supporters this day. That's not helping our country at all. But, Bernie was the front runner. He made $6 million in donations in 4 hours. Definitely his first day that he announced. And yesterday, after he tweeted about Venezuela in support of what we're doing down there, he was hit hard by people from all sides. I mean, it was horrific for him. I don't know. And some people are trying to give him a pass on this. Absolutely not. He showed his colors, and I'm not surprised. I am absolutely not surprised. He could have stayed silent but still, I'm glad he showed his true colors, because now we know there is no hope with this Republican Democrat nonsense. It's the same thing. They all work for the lobbyist. End of story. And because of this shows that we can do anything if we all work together. People really need to understand that this is not a left versus right, liberal versus conservative, Republican versus Democrat. that we have to understand that they all work for the same team, and it is us versus them. And I know some people just really could care less about Venezuela, but what the whole thing is, it's Venezuela one day, it's us the next. And honestly, that's where we're headed if we keep on this track. And they're not finished. They're going to come back. I mean, the Vice President, Pence, is going down to Colombia tomorrow. So we definitely still have to watch what's going on, especially down in Brazil, because the IDF is there. And we know the IDF pretty much doesn't give an F. They do things to civilians all the time that are horrific. I understand, going through some of my comments, that people are still confused about what happened in Venezuela, and the people that are confused are pretty much the people that haven't been paying attention to my videos or anybody else's that have been talking about Venezuela or the last 50 years of our history of us, overthrowing and killing Gaddafi, Chile, Haiti, Honduras, Guatemala, El Salvador, Colombia, Brazil, Argentina. I mean, this is not, so people that are still wishy-washy about it, like, maybe this is happening. Please wake up. Please wake up. We have done this for decades. And all it does, especially for people that are still all about the wall, please think about this. How in the world can you say build a wall, and at the same time we're trying to bust through the borders of another country? Do you see the irony? Do you see it? How crazy that is? But we're like using military, assets, or let me say civilians that we've paid, and not just us. I know people get confused about it, but yes, it is us. It is for our interest, Colombia's interest, all of it, not us in general, the big corporations. All these people that want to go down there and turn it back into a plantation just like they did in the 80s. For those that are still confused, no, I'm not a socialist. But what Venezuela does is Venezuela's business. And I do agree with a lot of things that they have done. They went from a 70% poverty rate in 1996 to 21% poverty rate. That is extraordinary. Like, that is amazing. Just by implementing such things as the natural resources are not going to, heads of Exxon, Citgo, like 10 people, or Dole, Chiquita Banana, all of these companies that were taking advantage of their agriculture, their resources, all of this stuff. It's going to build them houses. And these are working class people. That's what people are so confused about. They are working class. They aren't people that are sitting on their couch smoking weed trying to get a paycheck. It's not how it works. They work, and it's just part of who they are. And no matter what we think, it doesn't matter. We don't overthrow countries to make sure that they have the amazing system that we have, which is horrific, because we don't have free enterprise. Free enterprise is the best way to do things. They actually have free, a free market, but then on the other side, they have the, 4 social systems in place, okay? But it doesn't matter. It really doesn't. Because socialism did not crash Venezuela. If anything, it helped them to skyrocket. What killed Venezuela is the sanctions. Okay, just real quick, what I want to do is show you the GDP from when Chavez took office, which is when the quote-unquote socialism began. And so you can see here, in the 90s is when we had our big big corporations down there with our, you know, whatever down there. And then Chavez took office in 99, and look at their GDP. Jumped. Huge. I mean, that's insane. So, if anybody wants to try to make a claim that it was socialism that ruined Venezuela, the proof is right here. It's not. Okay, I've showed this before, but I want to show it again because it's such an awesome resource. So you can see that their oil revenue, and compare it to their GDP and their inflation, I mean, and you can see how it just skyrocketed in 2014. Why did that happen? Well, that's easy. That is when our oil export ban was lifted. And that's what I've been trying to explain to everybody. Yeah, they may have a few hiccups here and there. No country is perfect. But to go with such an extreme inflation rate, it has to be an external situation. Okay, I want you to focus on 2008 and then 2015. So 2008 is when, remember, our big crash happened, but they stood firm. They were pretty good still. Maduro was elected in 2013. They were still doing good. Then bam, we hit them with the sanctions, and then we flooded the oil market. And I'm going to show you right here. See, it crashed the entire market. Us pushing out so much oil. Look, 2008 was when the big crash, and then 2015. But see, all the other countries were able to get loans to cover their losses. Due to our sanctions, Venezuela was unable to get loans, which drove them deeper. So let me read this, because this is how much the U.S. market affects other markets, and just globally how this works, okay? So the fall from $126 in June of 2008 to $31. Then we have it went up to $61, and then 2011 it hit $102. Fortunately, it firmed up at 76, and that's what OPEC is for. OPEC sets prices and says, hey, we've got too much oil out there, let's firm it up to where it's not too high, it's not too low. But being that the United States is not an OPEC country, we just did what we wanted to. And so you see down here, 2014, there was an average of 89. Then it sharply dropped from 85 to $41, which hit all the markets so hard. And this was pre-planned. That's why they put those sanctions on Venezuela. They thought that that would be able to tighten that noose and get them to bow down. But it didn't. They kept going, even though it was hard times. But they just kept going, and then we hit them again with sanctions. Then we hit them again with sanctions. Look, right here, this even Kuwait, you know, 2008, 2009, bam, slammed them. Then 2015, 2014, same thing. You know, all of these countries got hit so hard. And you can see right here the extreme poverty rate and how low it went with Chavez and Maduro. So back in 2002, when they tried to run the coup on Chavez, they said that he was the dictator and crazy and, you know, all of this stuff, when he was lowering the poverty rate at exponential rates. And the only thing that switched was Maduro took office. That's the only thing. But what happened was our sanctions and us flooding the oil market. And a lot of countries got hurt. It was not just Venezuela, but they were able to get those loans from the IMF and from other countries. Nigeria had to go to like 20 different countries scraping up money. You know, it was hard on a lot of people. And so it was very strategic. Okay, I just want to go through this real quick to remind y'all about the propaganda and show you how false it is. So we have USAID, which is known for shady dealings, trying to get supplies to the people that have grocery stores that look like this. This actually was this last week. And the bridge was never open. Also, they had already received tons and tons of medical and food supplies from other countries that didn't force their way in. Now I want to focus on the other propaganda that started in the beginning that some of y'all might not remember. We had this crew right here that all said that they were defectors from the Venezuelan army, military, whatever. But they're wearing the wrong uniform. It says FAN. Brand new uniforms, and it says FAN. The Venezuelan military has FANB on their uniforms. And I mean, it's just, I'm just showing you how the propaganda has rolled out for all of you that still are confused about all of this. And then we even had a YouTuber put out this silly video, Angry Cops, and it went super viral. But yet this is what the real military looks like. He tried to say it was that goof squad. And I'm gonna keep talking about it until people understand. And every single one of us, our voices counted yesterday, because they couldn't roll out this crazy FF or anything. They did do that one FF, which you could tell in, you know, the people that were filming it. I'm going to show it. Let's go ahead and show it right now. Alright, so I want you to watch. Look how calm they are. They're videoing like nobody even thinks that this would happen, because they knew that Venezuelan military weren't going to do this. But they had 2 or 3 people in Venezuelan military uniforms. Look, they caught them right there. Were they Venezuelan? I don't know. Were they working for the opposition? Obviously. They defected to Colombia. Was this even necessary? Absolutely not. This was a stage stunt, just like we see here all the time. It's horrific. And this is exactly so well put. Because these people really are believing all this stuff, and then they go out there like, oh crap. You know, it's essentially nothing like what the mainstream media is saying, which is funny because you would almost think that it didn't even happen, because the mainstream media is not saying a dang word today. I mean, you have Mike Pompeo saying some stupid crap and like, we're still gonna do this. We've got all options on the table. It's a huge victory for the truth. This isn't about, did socialism win or capital? That's not what it's about. It's about freedom and a sovereign nation. And that's what we need to do here. We need to fight for our rights. I know you're thinking, to party. No, for freedom, okay? And honestly, DC is so ingrained with swamp, with lobbyists. We can't fix them. What we can do is fix our states. And so I'm going to start putting together some stuff that we can begin that process, okay? And people are going to say, oh, it's useless or whatever. Did our forefathers say it's useless? No, they didn't. They didn't. They fought. Many died. And that's what the Venezuelan people are doing. If that's not inspiring to you, you're watching the wrong thing. Because it is absolutely amazing that that military stood there and didn't freak out. They stood their ground while the opposition even caught those aid trucks on fire and then tried to blame the military. I mean, they're grasping at straws. It's so embarrassing. But it's good that they screwed up, because we could catch them easily. I mean, there's a live stream, I'm gonna find it for y'all, that actually shows the opposition throwing the Molotov cocktails or whatever to catch that bus on fire, to catch that aid truck on fire. And you know what? The hungry people in the US should be highly livid right now. Like absolutely outraged. If you have a grandmother that's on Social Security or something, or, you know, friend, you know, that's on hard times right now, you should be livid that we sent this aid, $20 million worth of food and supplies down there, which may or may not have had weapons in it. Doesn't matter. That's not the point. To overthrow a government, while we have 500,000 homeless people. People starving. Don't even get me on California. I'm going to do a whole video about that. So, definitely a victory. So, keep on spreading this, and like, share, subscribe.